on Voodoo here. So we've had like so much information come out over the last little while. I think hopefully by now I should have alpha access, hopefully. I am recording this on the Wednesday night, but you guys are seeing this Thursday afternoon. So hopefully the next video you see from me is actually on the alpha. But today we're going over like the basics of Devourer. We're reading the post they made and we're looking over the talent tree. Maybe even just the post. We'll see how long this video gets. I don't intend to do the hero talent trees today. I think that'll be a different video, and we'll see how in depth on the talent tree I go, because I don't want to make this video too long. I'm going to spread stuff out, I think. But Devourer is revealed. We know all about it now. We know everything it does. We know its rotation. Well, not its rotation, but we know like the general gameplay loop it'll follow. And it looks honestly pretty awesome. So with that out of the way, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We will have both Havoc and Devourer content going into midnight and beyond. With that, let's get to it. All right, so we are here on the blue post to break down the general flow of Devourer. Now, the videos are weird, but I will try my absolute best to show you guys the animations. If I can't, I will link this down below. I'll probably do that anyways. But basically, Devourer, it's a caster spec. Now, the very cool thing is that you actually can fully move while doing almost all of your abilities. The main filler is Consume, deals cosmic damage, and generates both a Soul Fragment and Fury. So Devourer is a dual resource spec. You use both Soul Fragments and Fury to fuel your abilities. Soul Fragments are used to enter Void Metamorphosis as well as to cast Collapsing Star, and Fury is used to both sustain Void Metamorphosis as well as use your Void Ray, which is your version of Void Beam. So the main one is Consume. Man, it didn't work. Some of these work sometimes, some of them don't, but Consume basically is just a cast. You can do it fully while moving, which is really sick, and it generates Soul Fragments and a little bit of Fury. So these are the new Soul Fragments, or they're Void Fragments, basically. Now, these Void Fragments have two ways of collecting them, either by walking over them, which honestly, it does seem like there will be cases where you want to do that. There's a buff you get in your talent tree that gives you a damage amp whenever you get a soul. It's stacks, but new stacks don't overwrite the duration, as far as I'm aware. So it's like Fester Might, I guess, is one of the abilities that does that. Or Iron Fur, I guess, is another good one. So there might be cases where you do want a Pac-Man. We'll see. The other way is with Reap. Reap is an ability. It has an 8-second cooldown. There are other ways of tying into it that can either reset its cooldown with Void Ray, make it suck more souls. But at the base level, it's an instant. It does a little slash with your scythe. It collects 4 souls. It just does damage. Hopefully it works. It doesn't work. Why would it? I don't know what's up with these things. We'll try and rip a reload, see if that can work there. I'm on Microsoft Edge instead of Google Chrome because I thought maybe it'd work a little bit better, and it did. Oh, here we go. There we go. That's Reap. And then this is Consume. Hopefully it works. Boom. Just a little cast. And you can move while doing this. They've shown that off. Or Jedith did. I don't remember. The other big thing is Void Ray. So Void Ray, there's a bunch of talents that go into it here. They're showing some of them. But the big thing is that it requires 100 Fury, which is really weird because it basically, like, that's how much you're going to have. But it basically is a beam that consumes your Fury and drops whenever you use 0 Fury or after 2.6 seconds, which is, I believe, roughly the same time as what I-Beam is without haste. You can have it deal more damage to one target. These talents always suck. You can have it give you like a Reap, do like a Reap slash and also like a reset Reap and make Reap better. So the general gameplay loop will seem to be like Reap souls, Void Beam, collect a bunch of souls, and once you have a bunch of souls, you can go into Void meta. Here is Void Ray. Of course, it doesn't work. Let's rip a reload. Hopefully, it works this time. There we go, Void Ray. So it generates souls, it drains your Fury bar, and then boom, there's the big Reap with the big cone. Visuals are insane, by the way. We also bring a new form of Immolation Aura, which is Soul Immolation. This one actually deals damage to yourself, which is really funny, but it generates Fury and Soul Fragments over 5 seconds, and there are 2 talents that work into it. You can either give it 30-second reduced charge and cooldown and 1 additional charge, so you have 2 30 seconds to it instead of 1 minute, or just a passive where your damaging spells have a chance to give you it, basically. I doubt this will be the competitive option. They generally want the more active one to be better, but we'll see what happens. There could be a case for this being better. It is funny that this deals damage to you. Everyone was wondering how Immolation Aura would work, but this is a pretty funny solution, I guess, and we'll see if we can see what it looks like. And of course we cannot, so we're gonna rip another reload. There you go, just a little aura around you. It looks really sick. Every time it ticks, it summons a thing and then also gives you Fury. It only ticks like 3 times, so it's not like that crazy. But once you have all these Soul Fragments, Void meta. A Void meta is the big cooldown. You need to have 50 Soul Fragments to access it, and there is a talent that allows you to basically generate up to 25 soul fragments before you enter combat. So you won't have this on pull, but you'll have this pretty close to pull most of the time. While you're in meta, Consume and Reap are enhanced, and Fury slowly drains, and Void Ray changes as well. So Void Ray no longer reduces your Void Ray no longer takes Fury. It doesn't take that. It reduces how much Fury you're losing, and it also deals more damage. And during this time, it also will generate more souls. So basically, when you enter Void meta, Consume and Reap, deal more damage, generate more souls, and Void Ray will not consume Fury. It'll slow your Fury loss, deal more damage, and give you more souls. And the big thing while in meta is that you gain access to Collapsing Star. So 50 souls to get into Void meta. Once you're in Void meta, 30 souls gives you access to Collapsing Star. Collapsing Star is the big button, the big reason why we're in Void meta. It is the big, huge Spirit Bomb attack, home slam to your target, and the more you get with talents, the stronger it gets. And then while you're casting Collapsing Star, you have no Fury Drain. So I'm assuming Fury Drain is reduced, or significantly reduced, means you won't have any, and Void Ray means you'll have some, but not like a ton. Not really sure. Again, I don't have alpha access as of the moment of recording this. Hopefully we have it soon. This one looks sick, by the way. Hopefully it works. Of course it doesn't. We'll rip another reload for you guys. This is fun. But this is like a sick one. So that's Void meta, and then you just do this huge Spirit Bomb, slam it into your target and all nearby enemies, and yeah, you get souls too. This little bar down here actually tracks, I believe, how close you are to Void meta or Collapsing Star, which is kind of cool. I'm not sure how weak auras are going to work moving forward because they're doing the whole UI thing as well. So we'll see about if like weak auras can track this. I'm not really sure what's going to happen there, but I'm sure there'll be some way in game of tracking this easier as well. And there's obviously a bunch of things here to empower them in different ways. When we look at the talent tree, either this video or tomorrow's video, the entire middle branch is all about Collapsing Star and meta empowerment and stuff like that. But these are some little ones. Less soul fragments, but you drain more Fury. We'll see if that's better overall, or if this is more for like Mythic Plus, where you, or the melee build, which again we'll get to, where you have less uptime. Star fragments, it generates 5 soul fragments, which is good. That's already like 1/6 of the way there, which is nice. And then Collapsing Star causes your next one to deal more damage, which is, obviously it's already a big heavy hitting ability, but we want to deal more with them, right? And then of course there's the melee stuff. So this is billed as a mid-ranged thing. And the mid-range stuff is both in the Spec tree, but also tied into Void Scarred, I guess now. It's just Scarred basically now, but what was Fel Scarred. And the melee one is rolled around 3 abilities. Void Blade, which is just Fel Blade, the Hunt, and Vengeful Retreat. Then another ability, which isn't its own button, but does replace things, called Hungering Slash. Basically what you do is you either Hunt in or Void Blade in. Then, once you're in melee, those buttons turn into Hungering Slash, which is like an AoE scythe around you that gives you Fury, generates soul fragments, stuff like that. And then once you use that, it grants you a charge of Vengeful Retreat, and then also makes your Vengeful Retreat deal more damage. Now, the fun thing about this is that looking at all these things here, all this damage is uncapped. Hungering Slash does not be reduced after a certain number of targets, and Vengeful Retreat also isn't reduced. I don't have Vengeful Retreat here, but you can look on the talent in the Spec tree somewhere, or sorry, class tree. It's not reduced, so this is entirely uncapped. I believe their goal here is for this to like be your like AoE one basically, but the Void Scarred stuff goes into this. So Demon Surge happens off of your melee abilities, and while in meta you also empower Void Blade and Hungering Slash, and you trigger Void Surges and whatever. And then Demonic Intensity, activating Void Metamorphosis, empowers the Hunt, and then you also reset the Hunt, you reset your Void stuff. So Void Surge damage, very, very good there, because it empowers all your meta stuff, all your melee stuff. So we'll show this combo off. Of course it doesn't work. Let me rip a little reload here. Hopefully they'll work here. So we can see, I believe, the Hunt, there's Void Blade, there's Hungering Slash, and then you can Vengeful Retreat out. I don't know why they use it twice there. Now we're in meta for some reason. And then boom, we Hunt in, and we do all the empowered abilities with Void Surges. Actually, that looks kind of sick. I haven't seen the Void version yet, and you can go ahead and Collapsing Star. Let's watch that again. Let's rip a reload and watch that again. this thing, man, I swear. So, Void Blade in, Hungering Slash, boom, Vengeful Retreat out. And then we have meta, and I believe this is Empowered Hunt. Predator's Wake, that is a crazy name. So that's Empowered Hunt, goes in, Hungering Slash, explosions, Void Blade explosions, boom, 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 and then we VR out. and then you get like a huge collapsing star, obviously. So I mean, like, pretty cool. That'll probably be the Mythic Plus rotation, which just seems kind of sick. And they say here how Felskard's new iteration has been basically built with this combo in mind, which I really like. I think honestly that the combo part of Havoc with Essence Break, which rest in peace, was my favorite part. So they're kind of keeping that around, which seems pretty sick. And then the other hero talent tree, which we'll go deeper into, I think tomorrow, this video is kind of going long, is Annihilator. So Annihilator is basically the ranged version, where Felskard, or sorry, Void Scarred, it'll take some time, is basically the melee edition, where you're in melee, you're generating demon void surges, right? You're doing surges there. Annihilator instead focuses on your ranged abilities, specifically Reap and Collapsing Star, and is all about just like summoning down gigantic meteors, which is really crazy. They say here, damage from Reap will summon Voidfall meteors, and Collapsing Star will summon a barrage of meteors. Let's see if this works. Of course, let's rip a reload one more time. And then we can see this cool little animation here. So boom, there you go. Those are your little meteors, which honestly look kind of sick. And Collapsing Star, I believe, does like a huge one. We'll see. Boom, star, and then it just summons down a bunch of meteors. That looks awesome. That looks really sick. No idea how the damage will be, but probably what's going to happen is you'll play this build in Raid with Annihilator. You'll play the other build in Mythic Plus with like the melee stuff. And the tree is split, like a melee section and a range section. But yeah, I mean, like, super sick stuff. And then of course we have the Apex talent. Now this is one of the only Apex talents we know. We know of this one. Well, I guess they've revealed a bunch of them right now, but Havoc doesn't have theirs yet. I don't believe Vengeance has theirs yet either. So we just have this one for Demon Hunter. But basically what it is, 4 ranks. It's called Midnight, which is kind of funny. Rank 1, Collapsing Star always critically strikes. Crazy. That's really good. Rank 2, all cosmic damage dealt increase. That's fine. All your damage is cosmic. But then you also gain crit scaling equal to your crit chance on Collapsing Star, which is crazy. Basically know your enemy on our strong sending ability. And then rank 3 doubles it. And rank 4 is actually really big, because whenever you enter Void meta, you gain 5 soul fragments, which again is 1/6 of the way to Collapsing Star. Then you also immediately gain access to Collapsing Star. And there's that talent that makes Collapsing Star generate 5 soul fragments. So you're already 1/3 of the way to your next Collapsing Star once you enter meta, which is really good. And then it also just gives you access to it, right? So you can just use one right away. This seems like really strong. We'll see how things end up. But like overall, the general flow of Devourer seems really fun, in my opinion. It seems really engaging, which I'm a little down on the Havoc Demon Hunter changes, because I think they're taking a lot of the fun points out. But then they've actually put a lot of those fun points into Devourer, which is interesting. It is very mobile. We don't even talk about Step, I believe it's called, which is basically like a teleport that's like instead of Fell Rush, which is crazy. But like you can cast while moving with Consume. Reap is an instant. The only casts you have are Collapsing Star and Void Ray, which we've seen. Maybe there's a cast on entering meta, we're not sure. But like you're fairly mobile. You have to stand still and cast every now and then, but you can do everything else like on the move completely, which is like really, really good. You are a 25 range spec. And you also have the melee stuff, which is like a really fun combo. But I think it has that combo potential to it. Collapsing Stars are going to hit like a truck. There's going to be some fun gameplay to extending Void meta, which I think seems really cool. But yeah, the general loop is generate souls, generate Fury. Use the Fury to deal damage with Void Ray, which also generates souls. And then use the Fury with Void meta once you have enough souls to kind of be in Void meta, empower your abilities, cast a lot of Collapsing Stars, and do damage that way. And then if you were doing the melee version, then you'll have like the Void Blade in, do a Hungering Slash, Vengeful Retreat out every like 25 seconds or so, which also seems really fun. So honestly, I'm excited to try Devourer. We'll see when I get alpha, hopefully soon. Again, we'll see. But like, I think they've cooked really well. There's a few different builds you can go down. The talent tree lends itself well to those builds. We'll check it out in tomorrow's video because my voice is starting to go. But yeah, I mean, let me know what you guys think right away down below. I'm already more excited about Devourer than I am for the Havoc changes. So, you know, not looking great for Havoc, but I think Devourer is going to be pretty sick. So let me know what you think down below in the comments. I'll link this somewhere. Jedith, shout out Jedith, has videos going over like the stuff in game because he got early access to the creator stuff. Again, there's a huge problem with the Blizzard content creator program. It's like impossible to get into, but that's another story for another time. Ask me on a stream one time. But yeah, I mean, sick stuff. I'm very excited. I hope you guys are too. And of course, we'll be having more content with it. So like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts down below, and I will see you guys next time. Probably tomorrow, honestly, for being real here. Another video. Peace. A big thank you to all of my channel members. Thank you to Correlated. Thank you to Alexander Trifunovich, Fear Redefined, Loose Change, R Palms 46, Basu Terceros, Zuligan, Dupe, Spaghetti, Gabriel Correa, Magic Man 133, and Felfadaren Dark Terror. Thank you all so much. Thank you to everyone who watches the videos, but especially to those of you who are supporting the channel. Helps me make content, of course. If you want to support the channel, get your name shouted out at the end of the video. Consider becoming a channel member down below. There'll be more perks coming soon-ish for channel members. Trying to work on that a little. And again, thank you to everybody. Also, go follow me on Twitch, stuff like that. And y'all are awesome. See you guys next time. Peace.